That's funny, dude. I'm gonna slap my brother too. Because my mama, I'm very much scared to ask him. So when he was with, my mama saying that, oh, hey, she was good. She thought she wanted to pick her up. And I told my mama, are you ready to? I was like, mama, are you ready to let go?
Alrighty, peace, love, and law, everyone. Welcome to In God We Trust Academy podcast and work session season 9. And we will be getting started in about the next 45 minutes. All right, give you guys time to like, share, and subscribe upon the platforms that we are on. And as always, we do appreciate your participation. Alrighty, family. We got a few announcements to make to you guys before we get started. Just know the In God We Trust Academy is still doing trust setup. So if you're interested in a one-on-one trust setup, do catch us at ingodwetrustacademy.com as well. Also, stay in touch with us. YouTube, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, Twitch, wherever you're watching from right now as well. But we do have a YouTube channel, In God We Trust Academy. So go and check those things out if you're looking for other podcasts and things like that we have done. Also, Kyrie Retreats. If you're looking to travel anywhere, do travel with Kyrie Retreats. Text trip to 256-263-0771. Or you can go to the website KyrieRetreatsIntellitravel.com as well. Also, February 21st, 2026, in God We Trust Academy, we'll be having the class Tender by Performance. It is 2 different tiers, so you choose which tier that you would like best, but you go to ingodwetrustacademy.com to also register for that event as well. Tender by Performance. The Lawman series, guys, it drops February the 6th. The whole entire series can be yours as a full law library for you and your family to continue on, right? And February the 25th will be the first class on the foundations of law and procedure as well. 2 separate events, but go to ingodwetrustacademy.com to be a part of that as well. And right now we are in the Lawman Master Merchants Tax Series and Work Session Season 9. We do this every Monday, 11 a.m. Central Time, Wednesday, 6 p.m. Central Time. There are 10 volumes, so we got 10 ebooks basically, and we got 10 weeks to cover these. as well. So we're gonna do our part in making sure that we do that. If you want to know how to get in here with us, register. Send us an email, admin@ingodwetrustacademy.org. Again, admin@ingodwetrustacademy.org. Now, within 2 days, bingo night, Friday nights. See, some of y'all already getting in there. So, yeah, I can't wait to see y'all in there, have some fun with you guys. But Friday night, every Friday night, 8 p.m. Eastern, 7 p.m. Central, we'll be live on Google Meet, and I'll go live myself as well when I'm a part of it or in attendance as well. It is $10 entry to get in, but it also comes with a free raffle ticket for a chance to win some cash prizes and a brand new car in June. All right. Also, you also win prizes in bingo. Of course, there'll be cash prizes. There'll be other prizes as well. So just a fun, and it's trivia games and other things like that that go along with the bingo games. So it's all in fun. You cash app us or it's by Zelle, however you may choose. Email payment confirmation to mnrpgamenight@gmail.com. All right, make sure you do that. And that, my family. Other than that, let's see. What time is it? Yeah, let's get started. So let's go ahead and hit this record button, and we're going to see how the family doing in here today. A lot of people ain't caught on. We in work sessions. All right, guys. Again, welcome to In God We Trust Academy podcast and work session season 9. Give thanks to each and every last one of you and your participation for everything that you do to make this possible, and just give thanks, God, for the meeting of the minds here today and allowing us to have this time and just to exercise, man, the freedom and liberty of consciousness within itself, to grow within ourselves, to continue to think for ourselves, and just, take control of our lives. And this is the only way that I see that we can do it. If anybody think anything else better, but I know ain't nobody giving you nothing. We here because we expect people to give. Give. And that's how we end up in this situation. Now, instead of giving things to ourselves when our power is in our hands to do exactly that, we have that power to do so. And, there will be some that will. There will be those that won't. There will be players in the game. There will be sideliners. People just hollering and screaming, cheering you on, but never going to participate because, hey, that's their choice. That's part of freedom of consciousness within itself. So, but to those that do participate, to those that continue to grow their families and changing the course of life, and, just a painful and traumatized history that has been placed throughout the United States of America itself, and just the healing of that, to re-educate yourself and realign yourself. Well, actually align yourself, because you were never in alignment to what was actually supposed to be so for you. So now you're aligning yourself in those things and, being able to progress and go forward. So we are here now at a great and beautiful time. Everything that you guys hear is for educational, religious purposes only. Anybody seeking any form of legal advice, please do seek a legal advisor. All right, so what's up with y'all? How y'all doing in here?
Doing really good. How about yourself?
Good day. Such a good day for me. Hope it's a good day for everybody else. I guess got a couple people in here doing good. Rest of y'all had a hard day today?
It's a wonderful
Had
day.
a hard day at
Wonderful
work.
Wednesday.
Somebody said they had a hard day at work. Man, hey, them days always be there, don't they? I already know, man. Them days right there always be there. And it's always a hard day at work. It's even harder when you got to go and do everything yourself too. So I definitely feel you. Let's see here. We got any testimonies today? Anybody with a testimony? I know a lot of people that is not here. And I think they ain't here because they don't know we in here. They'll figure
I
it
ain't
out.
know we was in here either. I've been missing out. I ain't noticed.
So you been missing out, ain't it? We popped in on you, huh? You know.
Yeah, man. I was sick. I watched the replay. Though. I saw it the day of, like the day after. I was
Yeah.
like, damn, I missed it, man.
You
Oh,
know
man.
everybody in here missed you though. You know they usually see your
I
face
know
up
it.
there, so
And I
ain't
miss all
nobody
of y'all
see you.
too, man. I miss you, OG, man. For real, man. I highly appreciate you and each and every one of y'all, man. For real. It's a beautiful spiritual thing when I'm in here with y'all, man. For real. And I feel it. I feel it every time, yo. Every time. Y'all always put the only smile on my face, y'all. So I highly appreciate each and every one of y'all, and I appreciate the advice, the love, the mentality in which you've allowed me to be able to interact with you with, and it's been helping me grow so much, man. I feel so powerful. I feel like I know 10% of everything, but I feel so much more powerful because I ain't know 1% of anything. So now we in there. We getting up there. We getting up there.
I feel you on that for sure, and that's a great way to feel that you have control, because in this time, man, and man, can we have that conversation right quick, y'all? Well, let's hear Brother Terry Smith right quick. Let's hear his testimony, then I'll say what I need to say. What's going on, Mr. Brother Terry?
Peace and love. Good evening, everybody. I just wanted a testimony about was fighting Credit One on a collection lawsuit. It took about 4 months, but we found it with the help of Center of Performance. We finally won it. It took 4 months to win it, but we finally won it today.
That's beautiful. That's real beautiful. Congratulations, man. And I always like that you give us the time span, because people think that it's just one file, one this, out the way, we out the way. Nah, it ain't like that all the time. So I always appreciate you giving us the time length, the experience, because people, first question, how long this going to take? And it's like, you know, some of the people that asked it, it's like, you really ain't, it's going to take us about as much as knowledge that you have about this situation. That's how long it's gonna take. It ain't something that always gonna be swift, because these people will try you. If they even see that you think you know what you're doing, oh yeah, let's take him. Okay, let's see if he really got the time. Let's see how long he really can miss work. Let's see how long he can really drive back and forth to this court. Let's see if he can keep up with the procedures. Let's see if you even know how to do an appeal. Do we beat you at that? We'll make a judgment on you because we know you don't know how to appeal. We automatically get to assume you ain't got no money for a lawyer because you would have came in here with one. You see what I'm saying? So yeah, now you can't do an appeal. You ain't got the money to pay for an appeal. All that type. Yeah, they will try you. This ain't a game, yo. Like for real, this is about the knowledge that you gotta have. But let me say this: the mental guys, that's your fight every day. It ain't got nothing to do with anything happening outside of what's going on in your mind. It all happens in your mind. I promise you. That's where you conquer everything at. And you got to do that first. You see what I'm saying? And a lot of people don't want to see it that way, because what do you think prayer is? What do you think prayer and meditation is? Why do you think that Muslims and et cetera pray 5 times a day? A lot of y'all think it's just them asking for a bunch of shit. No, it's really to stay sane, to help me win this battle every day, because I'm at a fight with myself. I'm at a war with certain things that, you know, my fleshly desires want, that my spirit will be destroyed in the process of that. So I need to learn and be able to maintain and be able to refrain, to be able to, you know, stay consistent, to be able to stay disciplined, to be able to stay focused. That was the whole point of Christ going into the mountains to meditate in the first place. I gotta win here first, because this body, if I just follow whatever this body want to do, man, it's a full crash course immediately. And you gotta realize the full emotions that you are attached to every day that comes with it, from sad to mad to glad to joy. You might run through all to crying, whatever. You might run through every last one of those emotions in one day. Fear, everything, all of it. And then y'all got to really understand, some people are even afraid to come out their house right now because of what's in their mind. They build this type of reality from a perspective It could be trauma, it could be whatever, but they build that. And I'm not gonna be long-winded on this, but I just want you to know, like, that's where it starts, family. So I'm glad that you said that. To be able to take control, to be able to know that you got the power, to be able to know that you can do something about it yourself and not feel defeated, because the minute you start feeling defeated, it all happens in the mind. And you go to doubting, you can't, you start saying other people is stopping you from doing something that the hell ain't nobody even in front of you. You know what I'm saying? But in your mind, though, somebody's stopping you. Somebody gonna stop you from doing whatever. And I truly get that. So, we got too many bystanders. That's another thing. Too many people bystanding and waiting for the benefit. And to me, take it how y'all want to take it. But I that's exactly how I feel about when people say, oh, we waiting on Christ. You waiting on Jesus to come back type, out the sky type shit. And it's like, so you just waiting, you a bystander waiting for a benefit. When the whole time you supposed to serve the kingdom. Everybody keep forgetting about that part. You just want to wait. You don't want to serve. You got to serve. You know what I'm saying? The kingdom will not exist if you do not serve. What is it? And if you really want Christ to come back, then okay, where's the kingdom at? If the people ain't serving, you ain't out here doing what you're supposed to be doing, then you haven't established anything for Christ to come back for in the first place. That was a mission. That was instructions. That was things that was given to you that you got to do. You do it, you make it. You don't do it, that's on you. You see what I'm saying? And too many of y'all think that God is a person that needs you. God don't need you. God chose to use you. God don't need you to. See, y'all got God messed up when it comes to what you think God. God is not an individual that's sitting up saying, I'm finna judge Ricardo today. God is the authority that has already been set to be or not to be. It's already set. It's already done. The law is already put in order. What you gonna do? You can't escape your fate based upon cause and effect. And cause and effect is that order. Based upon what is today, it's based on things that you have done in the past. It's just really, and so that goes for you as an individual, you as a family, community, and us as a whole full, as you would want to say, human race. History shows that. So the choice is, the thing is this, we got the power as a collective memory. See, we don't got the memory of an elephant, but we do as a collective have that memory because we process data. So we can go back and look over history of what has taken place, what has happened, et cetera, throughout, and you can shape and see where you going, where you ain't going, what you need to do and what you don't do, whatever, right? But is that really a truly concern for everyone here? And as I keep saying, even as we finna go on with this class today, this is good. All this is good, but guess what? We dealing with winter storms, or however they throwing them around. But it could be next, like right now we good. Next week it could be no heat, no grid, all the grids down, everything down. You ain't gonna care shit about no taxation. You not. You gonna be talking about survival, how you gonna take care of your family, the next meal, how you keep yourself warm, your children warm. When food start getting down less, you got to figure out how we gonna go out here and go get it. Like, just think if it got bad to the point to where stores got kicked, like, it could get bad. Like, it could really get bad. And I keep thinking people think that nothing can happen to us in this time and era, especially in America. I think people up here just think we the safest people ever. And it's all kind of shit happening to you in the inside. Nobody has to come do anything to you because it's already happening to you. You're looking for a real physical war. No, it's all biological. And they know it starts with the mind first. It's a mental thing. That's why they totally crashing at your mind every single day. Y'all feel me?
I hear you there.
Like, this is real. It's bigger than what we come in here and do as this. This is great. This is great. Don't get me wrong. Take care of your mental. Be prepared in every aspect of life that you possibly can be. You know what I'm saying? That's what it is. We have to take control of that. Because like as from where I have to stand, everything they told us was a lie. I don't care what religion, who, what. And until I decide and say what is true for me, all that shit a lie. That's the only way I can look at it. Because if I don't treat it in that situation from that perspective, I got to deal with what you think. And you might curve that to match just for your behavior or to whatever that case may be. So this is why this is a time of, I say to men, especially men, head of household, whatever, like, hey, lead your family in the right way. But the thing is, you can't do it if you're not aware. You got to be in the knowing. You need to know the law of the land in which you live. You need to understand all of that. Every single thing that's going on, you need to be fully aware about yourself as an individual, who you are in your family, your community, your state, and even on the international level. Who the are you? Real talk. And it's too many of us just walking around here. You don't know shit. Nothing outside of the four corners that you hang on. A couple streets. A couple little circles. Some people take the same route to work every day. Don't see shit else. Nothing. So I'm telling you, a lot of people just boxed in. Y'all got to wake up. For real. Wake up, wake up, wake up. You know, and I always say, whatever religion is for you, that's great. Because as long as it make you a better person, that's all I can say. It's gonna be a lot of people that, you know, gonna be going through, hell and thinking they in heaven, or going to heaven, however you want to put it, whatever your thought or perspective may be. But it is what it is. The truth is, I feel like right now, if you on earth right now causing hell, in hell, you're gonna stay in hell. Simple. I don't see you going through hell on earth and then turning around making it heaven. How? I don't see that. How is that even possible? And then here's another thing. I don't think hell was an individual thing. I think it was a collective. Because God spoke to people and nations. So when you look around, when something happened, that whole damn entire family got cursed. The whole nation got cursed. All based on bad decisions of people. Because why? What do people do? There's a leader, there's followers. Always will be, always has been. It's like that. You feel what I'm saying? And a lot of people, I promise you, a lot of people can't handle that. And the fact that you can't handle that, I promise you, it's already known you can only go so far in life. You've already limited who you are right then and there, based on your thought, your perspective, how you treat yourself, how you look at politics, religion, whatever, all of it. Just based on that says how far you go. And that means to me, that's the afterlife too. I think whatever you're doing now carries on into the afterlife, and you get to experience the effect of that too. Why should you not? If we gods, we're creators, then here we are. We're creating. We're creating these worlds that we are pushing to live in. So if we pushed it and created it, what makes you think you don't get to come back and experience that? I'm just saying. And to me, coming back and experiencing the same exact thing over and over, that's hell. For real. That's insanity too, but it's hell. Especially when you expect different results. But anyway, another conversation, man. I might create a podcast for that type of event for y'all. Because I make you think. And it took my psychology professor. It took him to make me question. It was the only time I had to question my faith. And when he did, he shattered everything. And I was just like, man, I need to go read. Because the question was this, guys. All right, are you asleep? Is the real you asleep right now and you're dreaming? That could be true.
Very well.
And then when you go to sleep, you actually wake up. That could be true. All right, so then we stop at chapter 6.
Yes, we did.
I think we covered a little bit of it, but I think I'm just gonna start over for it. All right, I know we got a little personal for some of y'all, so we probably lost a few members because religion and politics will make you lose somebody quick. Probably a family member too. Boy, you'll lose one real fast. You want to get rid of somebody? Start talking about politics and religion. And just get on the opposite side of what they say. You ain't got to mean what you're saying. If you just really want to get rid of them, just get on the opposite side. They'll get on. You want to make somebody mad? Talk about Trump. Yeah, I support Trump. They finna get on quick. That's all I needed to do. I should have did that a
I
long
haven't talked to
time
my
ago.
twin brother since November of 2024. So
You say what?
you preaching to the choir. I said I haven't talked to my twin brother since November 5th of 2024 behind politics. So I definitely get it.
It's crazy, man. And then they'll ask, why I'm having a hard time, but you will let something like that stop you from building with your family. That's insane.
That part.
All right, let's get it. What makes a grantor trust? So a trust is treated as a grantor trust when the Internal Revenue Code treats the grantor or another person as the owner of all or part of the trust for income tax purposes. The controlling framework is IRC subsection 671 through 679. The grantor status is not based on what the trust is called. It is based on whether the grantor retains enough control, power, or benefit that the law attributes trust, income, deductions, and credits back to that person. So grantor trust treatment can apply to all trust assets, only a portion of the trust. Okay? So make sure I'm gonna read that to y'all again. The grantor trust treatment can apply to all trust assets or only a portion of the trust. All right. It just really depends on, does that grantor still have rights and interest in it? Right. So let's see. Control means retain authority that effectively allows the grantor to direct trust property or outcomes. Control can be direct or indirect, and it can arise from powers in the instrument or powers exercised in practice. The key legal issue is whether retained powers are substantial enough that the grantor is treated as the owner under the grantor trust rules. Reversion. A reversion exists where the grantor can get trust property back or where the trust property can return to the grantor after a period upon an event. Revisionary interest can trigger grantor trust treatment depending on the terms of time horizon set by statute. So the point is not whether a reversion ever happens. The point is whether the grantor retained a legally meaningful right that the code treats as ownership. See, and everybody keep wanting own. No owning, guys. Let the trust own it. You use it. Because you don't want to ever own it. It sticks in my mind. And I understand the more as I've grown up, especially reading the Bible, like it's saying it all throughout the Bible. You don't own the damn thing. Everything belongs to God. It's going to be transferred on to the next people, the next generation, the next this, the next whatever. Even what the United States of America think they own. Anywhere from, for all we know, it could be the next 10 years. But in the next 1,000 years, I guarantee you, this won't be here like this no more. It's already on the brink of going down. So I'm telling you, everything gets passed on. So you can't own anything, right? You can't own nothing. Grantor trust status is most commonly triggered by retained powers, especially powers over beneficial enjoyment, distributions, administrative control that benefits the grantor. So make sure. And certain borrowing or substitution powers depending on how they are drafted and exercised. The law focuses on whether the power allows the grantor to keep the economic benefit, effective ownership as well. I'm going to have to do it like this because I don't want to be scrolling. Yeah, that's better. So the law focuses on whether the power allows the grantor to keep the economic benefit or effective ownership. Labels do not matter. The actual legal power does. So a non-grantor is a trust that is respected as its own taxpayer for income tax purposes because no person is treated as the owner. That means the trust on it. So no non-grantor status depends on whether there's a real separation between the grantor and the trust estate. The separation must be reflected in the document and its operations. That's why I tell you guys to make sure that you literally write out everything express, because what's not expressed is implied that you own it. Okay, make sure everybody understands that. So a trust can be irrevocable and still be grantor in whole or part if powers exist that trigger owner treatment. Conversely, careful drafting and disciplined administration can support non-grantor treatment where the statutory triggers are not present. Separation means the grantor does not retain rights that amount to ownership for income tax purposes. The grantor cannot keep the practical ability to treat the trust property as their own while claiming the trust is the taxpayer, right? So now separation must be proven by what the trust instrument authorizes and what the fiduciaries actually do. Operational reality matters. So irrevocability helps, but it is not decisive in its own stance, guys. So the actual grantor status is not determined by whether the trust is revocable. It is determined by whether the grantor is treated as the owner under specific statutory triggers. Irrevocable trusts are frequently grantor trusts when the instrument preserves certain powers or benefits. So if any form of power is preserved and benefits is preserved for the actual grantor in ownership, let me say that, ownership. I'm not saying that you got equitable use, because just because you got equitable use of something don't mean you got complete ownership of something. You can use my car, but you don't own it. So you got equitable use of it, but no outright ownership. So if they was to try to do anything, then they can't hold you for, like, the insurance company can't come and hold you accountable. They're going to come to the owner of it and the one who owns the insurance. So your equitable use can never be, they can never come after you for that. So do understand that. Okay. Fiduciary independence is a practical mark of separation. The question is whether the trustee is acting with real discretion under fiduciary duty or whether the trustee is functionally carrying out the grantor's control. Independence is strengthened by clear governance and documented decision-making, arm's length administration, and an avoidance of grantor-directed control over distributions and beneficial employment. So the way I make the separation is, like I said, I run everything through the religious entity as the trustee. And then the religious entity makes you the primary. Now they can't even say that. And it's only, remember, you're only the primary trustee by title coming from the religious entity. So now it's a full separation anyway. So you would never run into the problem of, if they're a real separation or independence. It's just also creating the space between you and that entity. So I hope that makes clear to everyone as well, for those of you that do operate with a 508, et cetera. Why grantor status changes everything. Grantor status changes the entire reporting structure, the attribution rules, and exposure profile. So a grantor trust is generally treated as reporting vehicle rather than a fully separate taxpayer for income tax purposes. The trust items are attributed to the deemed owner to the extent of the grantor portion. This drives three outcomes: who reports, what gets attributed, and where liability lands. Grantor trusts have specialized reporting rules. Depending on how the trust is administered, reporting may be handled through statements to the deemed owner and or return filing structure specifically for grantor treatment. The legal point is simple. When the code treats someone as the owner, reporting must align to that owner treatment. Filing the wrong way creates misclassification and it audits the risk. So you can also choose to elect a classification. Okay? So attribution of income. The attribution means trust income and deductions are treated as belonging to the deemed owner, not the trust, for the grantor portion. The attribution can apply even when income is not distributed. So this is one of the most misunderstood areas. Distribution does not control grantor attribution. Statutory owner status controls it. Liability exposure: when items are attributed to the deemed owner, the tax liability follows that attribution. That increases personal exposure if the trust is grantor in whole or part. Misunderstanding grantor status can lead to double reporting, misreporting, or incorrect liability placement, all which create enforcement leverage for the government. Trust misclassification is one of the most common and costly errors in advanced structures. The IRS typically focuses on substance, powers, control, and benefit, not titles and narrative. Misclassification usually occurs in two ways. The IRS asserts grantor treatment based on retained powers or prepare files as a non-grantor's trust without analyzing owner triggers. The IRS can misclassify when it assumes grantor status simply because the grantor funds the trust, participate in operations, or use trust property without a proper analysis of the trust terms and the applicable grantor trust triggers. As I say, put it in writing, express it, because everything that you hear is presumptions until you say otherwise. So the correct method is statutory. If the government asserts grantor status, it must point to the specific owner's triggering rule and the supporting facts. So treating irrevocable as automatically non-grantor is a common mistake. Ignoring partial grantor status and filing as if the trust is entirely separate. Failing to read the trust powers. Read trust powers against IRC 671 through 79. And using inconsistent reporting positions year to year. Treating distributions as the deciding factor. And mixing personal trust expenses in a way that suggests owner control. These errors are avoidable only with a disciplined, power-based analysis. So you have to make sure you do it properly, right? So we want to make sure that we identify the potential owner, whether a grantor, spouse, another person whose power or interests that trigger owner treatment. We want to map the trust into portions. Do not assume all or nothing. Determine whether the trust could be fully grantor, partially grantor, fully non-grantor. Step 3, inventory all powers in the instrument. So extract every power related to distribution control, beneficial enjoyment, amendment modification powers, administrative powers that could benefit the grantor, borrowing, substitution powers, revisionary interest as well, and write them out verbatim, then classify them by function. All right. Step 4 is to test each power against the Internal Revenue Code subsection 671, 679. Does this power cause owner treatment under the grantor trust rules? If yes, it is limited to a portion of the trust or all assets. If no, why not? Based on the statute, not assumptions. Validate operational reality here. So who makes the decision? Who benefits economically? Are transactions arm-linked and documented? Is the trust acting independently under fiduciary duty? If operations contradict the instrument, the IRS will argue substance over form. So lock the reporting positions. Once classification is determined, choose the correct reporting method, right? For the actual grantor versus non-grantor treatment here. So maintain consistency unless facts or governing terms change. Document the classification analysis in the trust permanent records and the reassesses on any material change. Rerun the checklist so when any of these occur. So make sure you just do amendment of the reinstatements, trust change to affect the independence, new powers granted, major assets transferred as well, or new revenue streams, transactions between the trust and the grantor beneficiaries, right? So we want to make sure that we do that. Chapter 7. So now really what y'all need to know about chapter 6 is how fully organized are you? Is it written in plain? Like I showed you guys the other day when I was reading things to you guys the other day. Are you written out just like that when you're operating from a trust? So that they can clearly see a separation. They cannot see any separation without any form of expression. Okay? I want you guys to know that. So it just because you think they might know, if it ain't in writing, they don't know, and they got the right to assume anything against you. So let's change that. Put it in writing. Religious bodies and special classifications. Religious organizations occupy a distinct position under American law. Their protection arises first from the Constitution, not from statutes or administrative permission. The First Amendment prohibits government from interfering with the free exercise of religion and from entangling itself in ecclesiastical governance. This constitutional protection limits government authority. It does not automatically eliminate all tax obligation, but it prevents the government from conditioning religious existence on registration, approval, or discretionary favor. Courts have consistently recognized that religious body exists independent of government creation. The state does not grant religious status. Okay? It merely recognizes it where applicable for limited administrative purposes. So the Constitution bars government from defining religious doctrine. So whatever your religion may be, you could come up with today and say the whatever type of religious tribe. I don't know. You could be you could believe in 4-leaf clovers and that there's a leprechaun. Every time you see a rainbow, that you and your people are supposed to drive there and go celebrate, worship, and all of that good stuff. All you got to do is express it, put it in writing, right? They can't tell you that or what to do or believe, right? Also, selecting religious leadership, controlling internal governance, and conditioning religious exercise on compliance with regulatory schemes unrelated to neutral, generally applicable law. So, tax enforcement that intrudes into doctrine, governance, or internal religious decision-making violates constitutional limits. This means religious bodies are not presumed to be subject to statutory tax regimes as well, unless Congress has clearly and lawfully imposed obligations that survive constitutional scrutiny as well. So, again, they ain't got no power. And LLCs and corporations, S corps and stuff like that, that's great, I guess, that's what you want to do. But I feel like the most complete and most beautiful and safest and where grace and mercy exists is in the church, in the religious form. Everything else is attacked. Like, for real, it's really attacked if you just start reading and pay attention. But I think a lot of people don't even understand why, because before you actually got into what we got states now where freedom of religion, most states was its religion. So if it was a Christian state or it was a Muslim state, or I don't know what I guess it's Tigray is what they call it. What is the religion of the Mongolian? They had the biggest empire anyway. I forgot Genghis Khan the religion, but I know they worship the god Tigray or something like that. But my point in me saying that, this is how they ruled according to that religion, and religion was law. And so, that's one of the most major things. And they were actually killed because they had a different religion. And that's why when you read the Declaration of Independence, it talks about that, about maintaining their freedom and never interfering with any form of religion, act, exercise, or whatever, unless it has to be limited based upon public affiliation, which I do understand that. They took prayer out of schools. The only people who got pissed off about that were Christians, because you think that you have, how can I say it? The power to just do what the hell you want to. Everybody got to follow in order to your religion and nothing else, like damn theirs. And, and that's how a lot of them think. Like, we supposed to be able to pray in here, but this Muslim don't pray like you pray. Whoever else don't pray like you pray. Like, you know what I'm saying? Somebody might need incense. What if somebody meditation and prayers to turn on Tupac? You know what I'm saying? Like, what you gonna say? This is the way he worships. You turn on Tupac, play Only God Can Judge Me, meditate, and throw his soldier rag on, fire him up a blunt, whatever, and hey, you gonna allow that to happen in school?
Then all eyes gonna be on him.
All eyes on me. But I'm just saying, like, that's the thing. So I think people just took that out the way. You know what I'm saying? You took that wrong. Like, If it ain't bothering you, that's where liberty, freedom has to come in, the right to serve. I really think that if people could go back to just killing people for their religion, I promise you, I know who will be the first in line to do it. We ain't got to say it. They history show it. So they would definitely do it. If it was allowed right now, trust me, they would do it. Y'all don't think they would, do y'all?
They definitely would. Immediately.
Shit.
Immediately.
Trust me, they would do it.
Absolutely.
So it's been done, and they still going on about it, but whatever, we'll keep on. Congress has enacted statutes that recognize religious organization for administrative convenience. Recognition is not creation. Okay, it does not replace constitutional protection. Statutory recognition exists to identify when reporting or taxation may apply, not to grant permission to exist or to operate. You just can exist. You don't have to go file for anything to exist as a religious body, because why? It is a authority coming from the First Amendment. So a religious body does not lose constitutional protection by declining statutory recognition. Section 508C1A of the Internal Revenue Code acknowledges that churches and certain religious organizations are not required to apply for recognition under 501c3 to be treated as a tax exempt. See, everybody don't know, and this is another thing. See, they'll be like, oh, there ain't no 501c3 because it's 508. Listen, a 508 is a 501c3 that just don't have to report. It's still acting under the same exemption. And again, a 501c3 is not a bad thing. The only thing a 501c3 means is you just can't go out here and start, you can't start going out here doing campaigns. You can't campaign for officers and stuff like that. You can't go do that. You can't go and put money into Donald Trump as a church and you receive federal funding. See, they don't want you getting into politics. So you can't go and be political is the whole entire point. Because now that sways the people and then it becomes a bias type situation. Y'all understand that? So you as a church can't go, as a 501c3 that's receiving federal funding, cannot go out here and start, how can I say it, doing political campaigning. That's what they saying. That's all it's for. A lot of people, well, the 501c3, it takes away certain rights. See, and we got to get rid of that lie. There's nothing that we can get into, any statute that can take away a right, ever. The only way that it gets taken away is because you chose not to act up on it and you in agreeing to compliance with a statutory that violates the Constitution. The Constitution says you have a free exercise of your religion at all times. Them having a 501c3 situation and saying that you cannot participate in political campaigns is not controlling your religion, your belief, or your rights or anything like that. Is it? If it is, I got 1,000. Show it to me. I know you can't. You know why you can't? Because what the First Amendment say. Anybody want to read it for me? I'm going to wait. Somebody going to read it. Look it up in your phone. Read it to us. Y'all quiet.
Hold on. Let's get that for you. Hold on.
You got to remember that statutory has to derive itself from Congress. Congress also, within Congress has the right to regulate, but Congress did not have the right to do what? It don't have the power to change your religion, don't have the power to stop you from exercising your religion. It don't got that power. So it wasn't given that authority. You ready, brother?
I gotta hear if anything.
Go ahead.
All right. Congress shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion or
Stop right there.
prohibiting.
Stop right there.
All right.
Read it in sections. Congress shall what?
Shall make no law respecting an establishment of religion.
Stop right there.
Or,
so what does that mean?
Okay. They can't change nor make another law.
So basically what they saying is they can't write a law saying Christianity is the only religion here that you have to abide by. And if you don't abide by this religion, any other religion is considered to be unlawful. They can't do that. So that means all religions are welcome. Keep going.
Or prohibiting the free exercise thereof.
Okay, so now they can't prohibit the exercise of your faith. Keep going.
Or abiding the freedom of speech.
All right, so now we're getting into the other one. So now you got the freedom of speech to speak on your religion, to act and exercise on your religion, and to receive any form of grievances based upon the government, etc. And you got the right to assemble, peacefully assemble. So you do assemble in your churches. You do have free speech in your churches, right? You got the right to freely speak on the government, etc. You can speak about the government, but you just can't cast a what? Political campaign and start giving money. Do y'all see what I'm saying now? I'm talking to everybody in here.
Oh, yeah.
For sure.
Oh,
Now
yeah,
we can do that with the 508c1a, right? It's just the 501c3 or no?
But see, here's the 508 is just saying that you operating like a 501c3 far as exemption, but you're not receiving federal funding. The only way you can receive federal funding is if you go apply as a 501c3. And they want to do that because they want to know that you're not out here doing political campaigning and shit. And when they federally fund you, that you're using the money specifically for the church the way it's supposed to be used. Not any other personal activities, which is why a lot of these pastors are getting locked up by federal law because they got federally funded. They use this for all their own personal gains, and their ass is going to jail. It wasn't used specifically for the church. You understand
That's
what
where
I'm saying?
coming in, knowing your status and knowing where you're gonna claim to be when you file your taxes. That's the important part I caught on from yesterday. Well, the last class that you was
right. It's always knowing who you are in every position. Remember, it's all about the classification of the person, the classification of the activity, and the classification of the transaction. Every time. So if the person is the church, then we got to make sure that the classification of the activities is religious and all transactions was done based upon with this particular entity. It wasn't classified in commercial.
Right.
Everybody got that in here?
Yep.
Got it.
And this is the reason why I like to talk. I'm liking, this tax series because it opens the door for us to talk about a lot of other stuff. Still. So this is what you got to know when it comes to dealing with forms of taxation. And I know people have been screaming this stuff, but they didn't really just read it. Read exactly what it's saying because it can't do anything. And I think that when people read, you put something in your mind and you fathom that it meant something totally different. No, words are very specific and it means what it says in context. It says what it says. It means what it says. And that is the power to govern and control based upon what it says. It can't go anywhere outside of that. Right?
Right.
It's no difference. I'll give you an example. Talked to someone today, consultation. They're going to courts. They on their way to a trial by jury right now, and they have to literally, I was telling them about the charging instrument. I said, the charging instrument said you were going 101. I said, they sent you discovery, but nothing in that discovery proves you did 101. Nothing. Not a dash cam, not shit. It just say you was doing 101 on the charging instrument. But if you're going to put it on the charging instrument, there got to be some type of proof. It's not in the video. It's not in the body cam. None of that. So, according to the charging instrument, according to what subject matter is, et cetera, in order for that to continue, then they got to have that in proof. See, they bound by statute. It can't be, the cop believe. No, everything in here is facts and evidence. And according to the charging instrument, you said 101. So prove that it was 101. There's nothing they have that can prove it. They don't got no no lidar law, no lidar calibration logs, no radar calibration logs, none of that either. So even then, you can still make them say, "I believe." I believe it works. Gotcha. So now, since it's a belief that it works, you got to throw that evidence out. You don't even know if it works or not to even determine. But you have not given anything to show proof. So my whole point is they bound by statute. What the statute says is what it means, and they can't go any further outside of that. They can't move outside those boundaries. That's law. That's how you treat it. So that's why I'm telling y'all all this fathom stuff they've been said about the 501c3 and all of that. They've been controlling the churches, keeping them quiet. Listen, they weren't controlling the churches through that. They've been controlling the churches through these private sectors that they have. These private fraternals and oaths that they got. That's where they control the church at. They ain't controlling the church through giving your ass some money. They take the people and they put them in these groups and they make them, I don't want to, necessarily say Freemasons or whatever, but whatever type of group they out there on. You know what I'm saying? They get in those type of groups and they function in those orders and manners and stuff like that. That's how they do. That's way different than what the statute, law, et cetera is saying. But see, even then, even when they get in those groups, they still act according to the law. You ain't seen none of them arrested. Why? Because they was given the game. They told them what to do. That's why I'm trying to give it to you, so you will know what to do. Yeah. Do everybody understand that before we move forward?
Damn, Skippy.
Loud and clear.
So,
If I stepped on your toes, we got some rubbing alcohol and some Band-Aids in the back. Y'all better be glad I ain't y'all preaching in church, because that's what I was say. Oh, I ain't getting no amens in here today. Go on back there and get that rubbing alcohol.
Hallelujah.
Go on back there and get that rubbing alcohol and rub them on y'all feet, since I'm stepping on toes today. Yeah, let me be y'all pastor, boy. But yeah, so I just want to make sure everybody understand that part. So what registration? So what we saying, let me read this. So Section 508C1A of the Internal Revenue Code acknowledges that churches and certain religious organizations are not required to apply for recognition under 501C3 to be treated as tax exempt. So they saying you are treated exactly like the 501c3 entity to be treated as tax exempt. You don't have to file anything here with us. All right? That's all they saying. So you still treated like a 501c3 that's tax exempt. You're just not federally funded. You see what I mean now? Difference.
Yep.
All right, so this provision does not create churches. It recognizes their pre-existing constitutional status and removes mandatory registration requirements imposed on other organizations. This key legal distinction is between existence and administrative recognition. What registration does and does not do. Registration or application for recognition provides administrative certainty, creates a public record, may simplify interactions with third parties. What it does not do is create religious status, expand constitutional protections, shield non-religious commercial activities, as well override liability statutes. Choosing to register does not make a religious body unlawful or taxable by default. So when reporting is required, is a statute lawfully imposes a reporting duty. The activities falls within the statute and the reporting requirement does not violate constitutional protection. So really, if you out there using the church to go out there and make money and gain profit, as in a commercial sense, and it's not being used for funding of the church, etc., then it's one of those things. Like if you're going to go out here and say, all right, we're going to do a fundraiser. See? Fundraiser. You don't go out here and say, all right, we got a business out here and we selling popcorn, $3.50 a pop. Your ass is finna get taxed. Quick. You should have just said it's a fundraiser. And to get one of these cars, if you want to, how can I say, if you want to participate or give to the fundraiser, et cetera, then you can give $3.50 to receive one of these cars as well, or whatever they want to, buy a ticket for the fundraiser. Come get your food. They do it all the time. But it's what you call it. But if you jump out there like you out there on the street corner selling and hustling, yeah, we ain't finna tax you. I don't care how religious you say it is. You did not wrap it and bind it within those things. And all you got to do is what? Express it. I keep saying that. Express it. Right? So religious bodies are not exempt from neutral reporting laws merely by being religious, but the statute must clearly apply. It must not intrude into ecclesiastical matters. All right? So know that. Reporting is not required when no statute imposes a duty. The activity is purely ecclesiastical, and the reporting would require disclosure of religious governance, doctrine, or internal decision making. In such case, compulsory reporting would exceed lawful authority. So the best thing for me to tell y'all to do is express your religion. And you need to express it the best way you possibly can. Like I told y'all the other day, my whole life is wrapped up in it. So I can express it in that way. It's expressed in that way in mine. So you need to literally do the same thing and take your time. It ain't something you got to rush into. This is your firm truth and belief of it, right? Ecclesiastical trusts are religious trust arrangements established to hold and administer property for religious purposes. This legal character depends on function and governments, not labels. The trusts often operate as private fiduciary estates rather than public commercial entities. The trust estate exists independently of public statutory regulations unless it voluntarily enters them or a statute lawfully applies. The trustee role is fiduciary, not proprietary. Property is administered for religious purposes under duty, not for personal benefit. So separation from statutory tax regulations as well. Separation exists when the trust is formed under religious or private trust principles. The trust does not engage in taxable commercial activity. No liability statute applies to the trust estate, and in such cases, taxation cannot be imposed merely because property is held or administered. Statutory tax regulations only apply only, when their conditions are met. They do not override constitutional or fiduciary separation by assumption. So fiduciary operation without public registration is not prerequisite to fiduciary validity. Trust exists by settlement and acceptance, not by filing. A trustee may lawfully administer a religious trust without registering the trust with taxing authorities, provided no statute requires registration and no taxable activity is conducted. So sometimes if you just know what basically they saying, if you know your business, you know what you're doing and what you're reporting for. Because all of this is voluntary. Mm-hmm. If you ain't supposed to be reporting, you know the way you are operating, then what you're reporting for. All right. Fiduciary operation without public registration. Public registration is not prerequisite to fiduciary validity. Trust exists by settlement and acceptance, not by filing, guys. So remember that. So the absence of registration does not create liability. Liability arises only from lawfully imposed duties. Special status is not absolute. It is activity sensitive. So remember, I told you person, activity, transaction. Religious and ecclesiastical protections do not immunize conduct that falls squarely with taxable or regulated activity. The loss of protection does not occur because of belief or structure. It occurs because of what is done. So again, the person is the religious entity, whether trust or church. Then we got to talk about their activity. Is your activity a fundraiser, or are you out here selling popcorn for $3.50 a pop? Which one is it?
We fundraising over here.
You see what I'm saying? So you just got to know, what are we raising the funds for? Here's the mission. You see what I'm saying? So now we got activity, we got the person, activity, and the full transaction. The transaction just doesn't have to look personal. So if everything is in line, it went to a specific location. It didn't go to your personal bank account. And if it did go to your personal bank account, then you need something coming from that religious entity stating that you have the power to collect with that particular bank account. And then you need to be able to show a proof of method so they can see the separation between what's yours and what ain't. So basically, which is a dangerous thing to do, but every fundraiser ticket that your religious entity has collected, you need to make sure that you account for that amount in tickets. In money, to be able to transfer it to the church the way you're supposed to, or whatever entity, religious entity, etc. As long as the mathing, it's mathing. You know what I mean? That's what it is.
Got it.
So when protection is lost, the organization operates primarily for private benefit. Commercial activities becomes the dominant purpose, and fiduciary separation is ignored. Assets are used inconsistently with stated religious purposes, and in such cases, the law treats the organization according to activity, not identity. So remember, the activity matters. The activity matters. So how activities reclassify the body? It triggers liability, create nexus with taxing authorities, resemble ordinary commercial enterprises, and involve non-incidental profit-driven operation. Reclassification is not punitive. It is a legal consequence of statutory application. So know that. When not filing is lawful, non-filing is not automatically unlawful. The legality of non-filing depends entirely on whether a statutory duty to file exists. Where no duty exists, no filing is compliance with the law, no avoidance of it, and tax evasion requires an existing legal obligation and willful attempt to defeat or conceal that obligation. Without a duty imposed by statute, evasion is legally impossible. One cannot evade a tax that the law does not impose. Tax avoidance, by contrast, refers to lawful structuring within the bounds of the law. Non-filing, when lawful, is neither avoidance nor evasion. It is the absence of a duty. Difference between avoidance and evasion: well, evasion is criminal and requires a valid tax liability, a legal duty to file or pay, willful conduct to evade that duty. Avoidance is lawful and involves arranging affairs to minimize or eliminate tax where the law permits. Lawful non-filing occurs before both concepts apply. It arises when the law never imposed a filing obligation in the first place. All right, so why non-filing can be the correct act? Because filing a tax return when no duty exists creates a false legal record. It can misstate jurisdiction, taxpayer status, and liability. The law does not require individuals or entities to volunteer into statutory scheme that does not apply to them. Where no filing statute applies, restraint, not action, is the correct legal posture. In such cases, filing would not be protective. It would be an admission against interest. So, common lawful non-filing scenarios. Lawful non-filing arises from the absence of one or more required legal elements. These situations are factual, statutory, and not discretionary. So no jurisdiction. If the taxing authority lacks jurisdiction over the person, entity, or activity, no filing obligation can lawfully exist. Jurisdiction must be proven. It cannot be presumed from residence, account activity, or prior filings alone. Without jurisdiction, enforcement and filing duties fail at the threshold. No nexus. Even where a taxing authority exists, nexus may be absent. Without a sufficient connection between the authority and the activity, jurisdiction cannot attach. No nexus means no lawful reach. No lawful reach means no filing duty. No taxpayer status. Taxpayer status arises only when a liability imposing statute applies. If a person or entity does not fall within the statutory class made subject to a tax, they are not a taxpayer for that tax. So non-taxpayers have no filing duty. Filing as a non-taxpayer creates misclassification and potential liability and where none existed. So, I mean, again, everybody's hollering that you're a taxpayer just because you're a citizen or whatever. It's false. It's not. It's all about the actual activity, because it has to go all three: person, activity, and transaction. You could actually be a person, any entity, but now they got to look at the activity. And then the activity, does that particular activity falls into this statutory? Does the transaction falls within the statutory? If they do, then by person, you become a taxpayer immediately, right? So every transaction that you have, does not make you, it does not mean you might be a taxpayer in one transaction and not in the other. And you can make those same transactions at the same store. So let's say 1 minute you might, okay, I need to buy this for the church. Then you buy the stuff for the church. And now you need to buy for the trust. You bought stuff for the trust. And now let's say you get personal. You buy for yourself. Anything that you personally bought for yourself in that particular manner and it's not categorized for something in some type of way, then you're taking on full liability as a taxpayer. Right? Because, well, everything is based upon the presumption of things as well. So we got to make sure we know. No liability statute. Filing obligations depend on liability statutes of Congress or a state legislature has not imposed a tax on the activity or class involved. No filing statute can apply. Procedural provisions do not operate independently. Without substantial liability, procedural duties collapse. So lawful non-filing does not mean absence of records. It means disciplined documentation without false admissions. Documentation preserves the defenses and prevent later reclassification through assumptions. So be sure that you know you don't have to file because you got classification of all transactions and activities that has taken place with the person and that you do not meet the statutory liability to file or to pay a tax. Because sometimes, like, okay, if you are a 501c3 entity, then you have you do have the obligation to report, but you don't have the obligation to pay unless you have a statutory obligation. You've been operating commerce, right? That really matters. Okay. Record keeping is important. The nature of activities is what you should have, the capacity in which acts were performed, the absence of taxable activity, and the absence of statutory inclusion. Private records do not concede jurisdiction. They preserve factual truth. Affidavits may be used to memorialize facts, not arguments. A properly executed affidavit can establish capacity, non-taxpayer status, absence of jurisdiction, or nexus. Affidavits should state facts plainly and avoid unnecessary legal conclusions. They exist to fix the record, not to provoke enforcement. So silence is lawful where no duty to speak exists, and the law does not compel responses absent statutory authority. So administrative silence preserves the burden on the government to prove jurisdiction, applicability, and liability. It prevents premature admissions and preserves procedural defenses. So silence must be intentional, informed, and consistent. Random or negligent silence is not strategy. So when you know to be quiet and you ain't got to file nothing, then don't file. But if you know you got to report something, then report it. But you're just reporting it to show that you're operating within that particular capacity. And it's usually going to be something like an estate or a decedent estate or a 50, some religious organization to show that you are staying within the boundaries to not be taxed. And it's because you're also receiving federal funding and you want to be recognized as a tax exempt entity, right? It's one of those things. So remember, classification is everything. Presumptions, elections, and defaults. The tax system operates primarily on presumptions. Told you. You do. And nobody know nothing until you open your mouth and start saying something. And what you say can and will be used against you. That is a fact. So just know it's not individualized determinations. Presumptions allow administration at scale, but they are not proof. See, that's what I'm saying. And what they mean by presumptions allow administration at scale. They're saying that there has to be some form of default here. Right? It's just like if you turn on a video game and if you automatically by default, it's going to put you on like medium. You see what I'm saying? You might be like, nah, this is my first time playing. I need to play on easy. Or it might say you want to play on easy, like you don't want no type of conflict in the game. You just want to enjoy the story, right? So you got to know that. That is the same thing. Business has to have a default in communication, which is why, and a lot of times, silence is acquiesce. Or, well, it's also a form of a defense as well, too. So it's just to really know that there are presumptions, and everything that deals with this, dealing with the United States, needs to be expressed in form. If it's not, it could be under presumptions, unless you get where two or more are gathered in my name. Let me ask that question. What does it mean by when two or more gathered in my name? Do anybody know?
Yeah, that means that he's there. He's
Who
in our
is he?
presence.
Yeah, you're touching and agreeing. It's strength in numbers.
See, what we're saying is this, and this is about witnesses. If these people are together and they're in the name of what? Truth. They come in truth. They come to speak of the truth. Then God is in the midst. That means the truth is in the midst. Righteousness is in the midst. All of this that you're looking for. The law is in the midst. Everything. You see what I'm saying? Because like when you got to know, God is a broad, very broad term. Because we say God is love, God is strength, God is this, God is that. That's broad. So we have to break it down. When you see when he's speaking there, where two or more are gathered in my name. So truth. That's why in the Muslim faith they say hack, which is truth. So they say, which is spelled HAQQ in the way that you would look at it and see it, but it means hack. Hack means truth. So they say the God of truth, and that's who they talk about. So it's the same. And then if you hear God carries the many names, right? That's another thing that people don't understand. But I'm saying this for you to truly understand. So this is why I said either you fully express it or you got to have witnesses that isn't fully agreeing with you, right? Because if you got those witnesses, remember, that kills their presumptions no matter what. So if you ain't got it in writing, that's why people can say it was oral. And if people agree that it was oral, then it's so. And then those people have to literally still express it because they're going to go do what? Put it in an affidavit, which is saying truth. The truth is present. We have 3 people here, 2 to 3 people here gathered saying the truth is so with the same exact thing. So that means the truth is here and it is considered prima facie evidence. Make sense? I ain't lose nobody, did I?
No, makes sense.
Got it.
All right, let's kick it. So now we got to know that presumptions allow administration at scale, but they are not proof. They stand only until rebutted by lawfully presented facts. A presumption arises when the government treats a person or entity as falling within a statutory scheme without first proving applicability. The system assumes inclusion unless the record shows otherwise. Presumptions are procedural tools. They do not expand statutory authority. They shift the burden only temporarily and only where the law allows. So if it's not expressed that you're operating some other entity or way, it is automatically assumed that you are what? Self-employed and you are a sole proprietor. That's it. Even when you, like, y'all got to understand, even when you clock out from your job and you go home, you are still considered self-employed. They think you making money while you sitting at home. They think that when you go to the store and you bought all this stuff that you are going to go do a resale. That's all by default. Right? That's all by default. All right? You understand that? So now, make sure you start expressing. You got to say something. If you don't speak up, then it's all right. And people got the right to assume and say anything. Your name Jack until you, like, I mean, hey, he looked like a Jack, but his name say Ricardo. I can say that his name Jack until he get up and say, nah, man, my name Ricardo, bro. Like, you're tripping. You know, and now it's rebutted. Now I got to prove his name is Jack. Right? You see what I'm saying? Now we finna come up with this artificial birth certificate from somewhere, and we're gonna prove your name Jack, though. And so now he got to go get the state birth certificate and say, nah, bro, Ricardo right here. So you see how the burdens just keep shifting. right? And that's gonna get to me where I ain't got nothing else to prove because now they're gonna see, well, what you said was a lie. So pretty much anything else you bring up here is gonna discredit. It's over with. This is how it works. Silence is not uniform in meaning. Right? Where a statute imposes a duty to respond or file, silence can trigger adverse presumptions. Where no such duty exists, silence carries no legal admissions. So make sure we understand that. All right? We talked about silence. So how filing becomes admissions? Because a file return or form is a sworn statement. Sworn. You're saying it's the truth. They can use it as facts and as an affidavit. You said it was the truth. You volunteered to say that this is so. You know what I'm saying? If I was y'all, I'd start writing on there to the best of my knowledge and belief. I believe it's right to the best of my knowledge. I might not have all the knowledge to determine that. I'm not an expert. Disclaimer.
That's a smooth one.
Ooh, what you say?
I said that's a smooth one. I like that.
It is. Hey, it is what it is. I might not have all the knowledge, so I believe to the best of my knowledge. There's a disclaimer. Now, when they come approach you, well, hey, man, I told you I believe to the best of my knowledge, so maybe I didn't correctly know. You can't hold it against me. Can I get some forgiveness?
There you go. Void where prohibited by law.
Is there is there help for what they say, the widow's son? Oh, my bad. I ain't stepping on no toes out there now. Somebody know what they mean. They laughing. That's a distress call, ain't it?
For sure. Send help.
Now, I ain't in the game, but just if I make that call not in the game, whoever heard it and they want to meet, you got to come help. You got to show up and save your brother by all means. Even at the fault of losing the I don't care if your family in a burning house. I call for help. I'm first. That's what your oath say. Let me keep it moving though before I get in trouble with these folks. All right. So make sure. Sworn statement, again, status is treated as a status, jurisdiction, applicability of statute, and accuracy of reported facts. Once filed, the government is entitled to rely on those admissions unless they are corrected through lawful procedures. The filing, not the income, often becomes the foundation of enforcement. This is why filings must follow classification, not preceded. Elections you didn't know you made. An election is legally significant choice recognized by statute or regulations. Elections can be explicit or implicit, but they must be authorized by law to have effect. Many taxpayers make elections without understanding that they have done so. These elections can lock in treatment across multiple years. Some elections are made by filing a specific form or checking a box. Once made, they bind their filer according to the statute or regulation governing that election. Form-based elections are effective only if the filer is eligible to make them. An ineligible election has no lawful effect, but it may still create procedural complications if left uncorrected, which means they'll penalize you, all kind of different stuff. You know what I'm saying? So others elections arise from conduct, repeated filing in a certain manner, consistent treatment of income, or holding oneself out as a particular type of taxpayer can be treated as an election. Behavior-based elections are inferred from the record. They persist because the record persists. The law allows rebuttal, but only when facts are timely and clearly established. Defaults and their consequences. So defaults occur when no affirmative action is taken to establish the correct classification. In the absence of clarity, the system applies default assumptions. I keep telling you this. Default are not findings. They are placeholders. But if unchallenged, they harden into enforcement positions. Default classifications arises when the government assigns a status based on minimal information, prior filings, or third-party reports. They might still classify you to how you filed 7 years ago. If you ain't had a job, whatever, then you go file. And they're like, oh, yeah, we still classifying you as this because you haven't changed it. So classification This classification is not proof. It is administrative convenience. It remains valid only until rebutted with lawful evidence. Failure to challenge default classifications allows it to become operative position. Default taxpayer status is the assumption that a person or entity is subject to tax because no contrary record exists. This status does not arise from statute. It arises from inaction. Once established in the record, it shifts the burden to the affected party to correct it. Default status is powerful precisely because it is rarely questioned. So presumptions are rebutted by law. Rebuttal is not argument. It is procedure supported by evidence. The effectiveness of rebuttal depends on timing, method, and proof. Rebuttal must occur before presumptions harden into assessment, liens, or judgments. Early rebuttal preserves procedural leverage and keeps the burden of the government. So Form 843 is a good form to use for rebuttal. Delayed rebuttal is still possible, but the procedure cost increases significantly as well. Method: rebuttal must be made through lawful means, corrective filings, administrative challenges, affidavits, jurisdictional objections. Also, you must have evidence, proof of capacity, non-applicability statute, proof of absence of jurisdiction, proof of incorrect classification. Point out the law. And I think it's easy to use the law to keep them to bind them. Because when you start showing stuff with the law and the statutory and it does not apply to you, et cetera, then you're immediately showing you are not within that statutory scheme. They can't apply it to you. It don't apply to you. And that's how you shut them down. Right then and there. We wanted to stop. So, the government's burden. Remember, who bears the burden of when? The burden of proof is not fixed. It moves depending on what stage the matter is in and what has been placed on the record. Just like I explained to you earlier, I could say he's Jack, and he said he's Ricardo, and then I go bring this artificial birth certificate, and I say, well, here's your name, Jack. And he's like, no, here's from the state, and this is my name. And then, now the burden is back on me again. So it can shift back and forth, right? Until there is nothing else to show, or until someone can't rebut it with other, proof of prima facie evidence as well. So as a rule, the government bears the initial burden, always. It must establish jurisdiction, statutory applicability, and the existence of lawful obligation before enforcement can proceed, which is why they make an assumption. So this burden exists before any filing, assessment, or demand has legal force. The taxpayer bears a burden only after the government has met its initial threshold and only with respect to matters that the law places on the taxpayer to prove. The government must prove jurisdiction, nexus, applicability or liability statute, proper classification of the person or entity. So all you got to do is what the government must prove. You must break it all down to show that they don't have the power. But you also have to be set up in that particular manner to show these things, right? So assertions are not proof. Internal assumptions, prior filings, and third-party reports do not replace the government's duty to establish authority. If the government cannot establish these elements, the inquiry must end. So the taxpayer burden arises only after jurisdiction and statutory reach are properly established. Even then, the burden is limited to factual matters within the taxpayer knowledge, such as substantiation of deductions or factual rebuttal of specific claims. So remember, deductions are in your favor too. A taxpayer does not bear the burden to prove non-liability where the government has not first proven liability. And remember, just because they say something does not mean that they prove a liability. They're just going to say, well, according to how you recently filed and haven't changed the election, you still owe for whatever. And all you got to do is say, no, here's the documents. I've been moving this way. I don't owe whatever. And I'm out of this statutory scheme or classification, we'll say. It's over. They can't prove anything else because what they tried to apply to you, you just broke it all the way down. And there was no other rule or way for them to apply it to you. So now they have to deal with the classification of the person, activity, and transaction that you have presented. So again, evidence is everything. Proof. Prove it. So burden shifts when admissions are made, elections are taken, defaults are allowed to stand, presumptions go unrebutted. Most burden shifting is procedural, not statutory. It occurs because of what appears in the record, not because the law changed. And this is why the control of record is decisive itself. So make sure it's decisive, guys. You need to make sure that you're very, 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 very on top of your game when it comes to record keeping because, again, they don't know nothing about you. As I said the first time, they don't know you. They don't know what you've been doing. They don't know the classification. That's why it's all volunteers. So until when you open your mouth, that's when it starts. When you start saying this, now they get to start placing you in these under these statutory bounds. They're waiting on you to say something. Otherwise, by default, they declare you as a taxpayer. So rebuttal is not a disagreement. It is the lawful act of placing contrary facts into the record in a procedurally correct way. Presumption stands until rebutted. Once rebutted with competent evidence, the presumption disappears and the burden returns to the government. What evidence rebuts presumptions? Evidence that rebuts presumption include proof of capacity, proof of non-applicability of statutes, proof of absence of jurisdiction or nexus, corrective filings where filing was improper, affidavits establishing objective facts. The evidence must be relevant to the presumptions being asserted. General denials or unrelated facts do not rebut specific presumptions. So what does not rebut presumptions is arguments without evidence. Evidence got to be there. Otherwise, you just blowing smoke. IRS publications, opinions, moral obligations, silence where a duty to respond exists, repetition of unsupported assertions. I'm telling you, man, documentation is going to be your best friend. Yeah, documentation be any accusations, man. You can't accuse me something when the proof is in the pudding. Administrative versus judicial burden. Most tax cases are decided administratively, not in court, and this is where burdens are most often lost. Administratively, agencies rely heavily on presumptions and defaults. If the record is incomplete or one-sided, enforcement proceeds without judicial review. Once a matter reaches court, the government must meet higher evidentiary standards. By then, however, the record often already favors the agency. Why? Because you ain't said nothing back. You ain't rebutted. You ain't prepared. And honestly, that's 90% of America, man. Seriously. We ain't how I was raised, and most of the people I know that was raised around me, friends, I'd have been in y'all house. Y'all mama ain't taught y'all shit about record keeping, none of that. You know what I'm saying? Discipline to even, that's still one of the hardest things in shifting to do this, is being disciplined to do it. Because a lot of us just, man, we paying, and we watch the numbers of the money and shit, but them receipts, we throw them away. Shooting jumpers with them. Throw that up. You want your receipt? Nah, you keep that. Gone by that being, and we ain't worry about no record keeping. We ain't finna go home and say nothing. Man, I think I bought about $200 worth of groceries the other day and such and such. Nothing. We don't got nothing. And that's why shifting to this makes it hard because, yeah, it requires work that we should have been doing in the first place. For sure. But administration for you is very important. Right? So cases are lost early because of incorrect filings, create omissions, defaults go unchallenged, presumptions are never rebutted, and jurisdiction is never questioned. And the record favors the agency. Courts rely on the record. They do not reconstruct what should have been argued earlier. And here's the thing. This is what I noticed. Like, I've been reading the most. There is nothing out there that says that you have to have accurate receipts. It just says you have to have record keeping. They don't need to see a full. It's good to have it itemized, but if all they can see is you had this money and you can say, all right, this is how the money was spent. Here. For these particular reasons. They got to go off of that evidence. That's the only evidence out there. Now they can't make a presumption regardless. Because why? Who got firsthand knowledge? You do.
We do.
Mm-hmm. And they're going to kick their ass every time if you do it right. So enforcement is stopped by challenging jurisdiction at the outset, rebutting presumptions immediately, refusing to make unnecessary omissions, forcing statutory citations, keeping the burden on the government. Early action preserves leverage. Delay transfers it. Now, the IRS is super freaking behind. Don't nobody ask me how long it's going to take, when, where, and how, because I want to ask you the same damn thing. I'm waiting too. I don't know. Which is also, if you actually read, they will say, hey, if we are still trying to charge you interest or penalties or whatever due to the delay of the IRS on communication, etc., then you need to say this in this particular form. Fill this form out. Let us know. You see what I'm saying? Like, they're very aware of the bullshit they do. But we have to read. We have to go look. Those who seek shall find. And then go apply. Apply it. So make sure that you, the burden control strategy, the objective is not to prove innocent. The objective is to avoid assuming a burden that never lawfully shifted. So if they didn't show anything to rebut you, what are we answering for? You didn't say anything. Sometimes people, they'll send you, like, I promise you, they'll do something like this. You will send them something, answering to them, and then they'll send you the taxpayer bill of rights. That didn't say shit. You ain't answer nothing. What does that even mean? Just because you sent me a package that say the taxpayer bill of rights, you ain't answered nothing. That's how you know all of it is based upon computer and all that type of stuff. So you have certain places that you can send directly to for them to actually have to answer you and deal with you. And you can request that a living being deal with the situation. A lot of it is computerized. That's another thing. You just now getting to starting to deal with AI. They've been dealing with artificial intelligence and stuff like that. They've been doing it. They just open it up to you, the public, once they had full control to give it to you. So, forcing the agency to prove its claim. The agency must be required to identify the statute, jurisdiction, nexus, applicability to correct the entity, or the capacity. They got to be able to do it, guys. And that, my friend, ends this session here. So we just went through the Lawman Master Merchant Tax Series, Volume 1, Taxpayer Classification and Jurisdiction. And I learned a lot from this myself. A whole lot. And I think that, honestly, I'm glad we're doing it this way because I'm tired of just people guessing. So I just said, you know what? We're going to go through every single thing about the IRS. We're going to make it known to the average person so you can understand it, read it. An average person. I didn't mean somebody with, it's true. It happens. Some people got 7th, 5th grade education. You're not the average person. Sorry. We got to go back. And there ain't nothing wrong with going back to learn how to read and gain. Hey, don't ever be ashamed. It ain't about how fast you get there. It's just as long as you get there. You know what I'm saying? I wasn't the best person in a lot of situations. Trust me. I've had to grow and work on myself, even how to study, even how to do a lot of stuff, prepare. You know what I'm saying? I actually had to go back and put myself in that position to be able to do that. Because like I was saying to, my daughter with math, like she having trouble in math, stuff like that. And, a lot of people really want me to jump on her and all that. And I'm like, look, what I do know is her daddy wasn't at math. But what her daddy know I do is count money. He ain't going to beat me in that. I ain't out there trying to figure out an Einstein equation. I know how to use a square. I know how to use a ruler. You know what I'm saying? I know how to deal with fractions and send them. Yeah, that's about it, buddy. Ain't nothing else I'm about to be doing, bro. I don't care how far do this bowling ball got to fall from point A to B and the length, and I don't give a damn about none of that. You feel what I'm saying? I don't care. So, like I told the lady, I said, look, man, what you doing is y'all just went from adding, subtracting, division, so now you're dealing with fractions, and you did that in less than 5 months. You don't think that's a whole lot of information? And see, I'll be wanting to take these teachers and sit them down. Now, come sit in my class and let me show you how low I can make you feel. And I want you to tell me, I want you to give me the answers that I want you to give, like you doing my child on a time, you timing them. And they got to be able to do this in 2 minutes. And she had a problem with how the method of my child, or how her technique to get the answer. So the thing is she's not being able to finish her test before the time is up. You can't grade my child off that. I mean, you can if that's our school, but you're not finna make her feel like she dumb when she still can get the answer. It just wouldn't if it's as fast as you want it. But come on over to my realm and let me show you what you don't know. And let me show you how fast. And you see what I'm saying? And they don't want to do that. They never want to talk like that. Ever. So that's why it's always best to let the mothers deal with them situations. Cause I go up there, it'd be a whole different talk. They gonna be feeling crazy as hell when I get up out of there. Yeah. You ain't here getting paid. I don't even think you getting paid. You on salary. So if whatever, it ain't enough. You ain't making $100 grand. You know what I'm saying? So I know you in here don't care. For real, for real. You're just here. And this is the best that you made out of it, and that's cool, but don't be trying to downplay my child, man. But I'm saying that to say this is what this was created for. It was literally for the average person to be able to, those who can literally read, write, comprehend, etc. And you can take it and read and write and learn for yourself. Even if you don't do your own taxes, you know when you go to a tax preparer what you need to be done. And you could already have everything settled out for them and say, here. This is the election I want. This is what I want to do. I need you to file all of that for me. Here's the money and payment, and you have a great day. See, ain't that better than you showing up to somebody and you like, damn, man, why I didn't get that much money this year? I worked, I did this. And then you wondering why your shit shifting and changing and all this other extra stuff that you got going on. And then they telling you, yeah, I got you. Yeah, you know, the 5,200, then plus the, yeah, I got you. Let me show you elect this. Yeah, we got you. And you like, come on. You see what I'm saying? So it's like, stop getting your feelings played with, man. Everybody. Get to know what you doing. Stop. And yes, is this something that gives you anxiety? Yeah, it get everybody in. It ain't a person in here say they don't get anxiety when tax season come. Not one. Even me. I'm still sitting on the computer and typing all this shit up, and it bothers me too. But what I've learned to do it every day. Instead of waiting till the end of the year. Not gonna get me like that. Let me go and be ready. Let me have my documents prepared. Let me actually take the time. Let me actually try my plan and method that I have set up. And let me do it that way. Whole lot more easy. That's what these documents here right here. All these look, that's exactly what they is, boy. Already ready. 12 months worth of ledger. For the monthly summaries, all of that, got all the utilities for the year, all the phone bills, the car insurances and stuff. Shoot, I got it all. Hey, we ready. You know what I'm saying? Every Monday and Wednesdays. Mondays, 11 a.m. Central Time. Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central Time. We are back on work sessions. For those of you guys that don't know, work sessions is full effect. We got 10 weeks. This is the first week we just knocked down. So the next one, guys, we're going to be on, let me see what we're going to be on. Because we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right, fam. I'm excited about this one, though. I don't know about y'all. I had fun even just reading and going into this one. But next week, this is what we own next week. Income characterization and non-taxable events. So now we finna learn how to characterize income. Ain't nobody out here doing it with y'all like that. I don't know. Let me stop lying. Somebody out there doing it. But this is just what I wanted to do. Because I feel like, let's really attack this situation and let's take care of it. You know what I'm saying? Let's do it. Because we in it. I'm in the box. So what we got next is the Master Merchant Tax Series, Volume 2, Income Characterization and Non-Taxable Events. Yeah. I'm ready. Yeah, y'all ready?
Hell yeah.
Ready, yes.
Then out of that one, let's see what
Right
Rodney
now.
did.
Get ready.
The next one is Volume 3 is going to be Form 1040, individual tax domination. So now we're going to master the 1040, right? Then we're going to go to Volume 4. I'm just going to go and let y'all know what's coming so y'all don't miss out thinking that y'all. Then we're going to go to trust taxation and 1041 control. That's Volume 4. Right? And then after Volume 4, we're going to hit 5. And Volume 5 is estate gifts and wealth transfers, 706 and 709. We're going to go all the way through it. Every bit of it. Not playing. I told y'all we dissecting the whole tax thing. When we get done with it, everybody in here should be a master at it. Especially if you acquire the books, keep them with you, able to study them all the time. It's worth it. 6, we're going to information returns and the matching system. We're going to do that. Then 7 is international withholding and the WA series. So WA bins, all of that, we're going all the way through it. All right. Then let's see, 8 is going to be religious and non-profit tax law. So we're going to go all the way through it. Yeah, we're going to go all the way through it, family. I don't know why it uploaded. Oh, I guess I picked the wrong one. Hold up. So you mean to tell me I ain't say volume 8? So didn't. I'm going to save it today, though. I'm going to save it right now. Y'all hold on right quick. I almost let a whole volume go to waste, boy. I was about to, boy. You talking about somebody was going to be sick. How long it took me to put this together? For real. All right, so let's see. We got volume 8 now? Do we got volume 8? I think we do. Yeah. It's in there already. I don't know why it's playing with me. Like we ain't here now. Yeah, there you go. Just had to upload. All right, so volume 8, here we come. And it is religious and non-profit tax law. So we're going to explain to you exactly how to set yourself up and how to literally operate it, keep up with your records, and do exactly what you're supposed to do. So that's what that's going to be. So if you pastors, anybody, this for you. This is for you too. We ain't exempting nobody from this. Anybody that's willing to learn, want to learn, you definitely come in here. And then we got, let's see, volume 9 is the IRS procedure, audits, and enforcement defense. So we're going to teach you how to do that, how to recognize statute, how to provide the right evidence, things like that to fully protect yourself. Right. And as you can see, the first one pretty much told you everything that we about to cover throughout the next volumes. And then we got volume 10, which is the master tax filer operating system. So it's a operating system that I'm going to show you of what you can use, how you can use it. And it is the best way to be exempt, best way for the deductions to happen and any other form of elections that you may, because everybody is eligible for the same thing. So let's declare that as well. All right. Now, something else I got coming up for y'all. I'm just going to show y'all a quick little glimpse of this. Y'all tell me how y'all feel about this as well, too. I got a lot coming for y'all. I promise. I think I really could just chill and just for the next 2 years and just teach. I done so much work and put it together. I still got a 537-some page criminal law procedure book we got to go through. Still got that. I'm just trying to find the time to actually do it. All right. So y'all see the screen here?
Yes, sir.
Yep. Oh, do y'all know what this is? This
Yes,
is the
sir.
Lawman Debt Collector series. So we're gonna break down the whole FDCPA. It's a 10-volume series too. We're gonna go through all of it. Identifying the debt collector the right way, what counts as a debt, communication violations, also false and misleading practices as well as when they come to other form of unfair practices that they do. All right. Actually, yeah. So now, and then there's a few more. I think I'm on like 8 on this, but we're gonna do FDCPA. We're gonna do the Truth in Lending Act. We're gonna break it down into 10, maybe as a series. So it might be 12 volumes, whatever. I know this is 12 volume, so this one got 12. And we're gonna do the Fair Credit Reporting Act too. We're gonna do all 3 of them, right? And I'm really setting this up for the kids that are turning 17, 18, 19, 20, 21 through that range right there. I want them to be able to know exactly what they're doing. Now, for everybody else, it's for you too, but it's definitely I'm approaching those people in those areas because it's important that they know that they don't get hit like we got hit, because we damn sure got hit. Ain't nobody tell us nothing. When nobody trying to learn nothing. Hell, most of our people was like, a credit card, who, what, when, and where? Who getting a credit card? Cash or nothing, boy. No credit cards going on around here. When nobody dealing with no credit, boy, that credit was hey, and you ain't have that money, you ain't gonna touch no credit now. For real, for real. Most people, like, our people was not touching no credit card. But a debit card is one of the worst things you can have too. Especially when it's your money and then you charge for how you spend your money, how many times you swipe your card. It's a fee for that. It's a fee to report to you. It's a fee to give you a receipt on you a deposit receipt. It's a fee for that. Like, they killing your money. They hitting your money left and right, every way possible way they can. Again, let's be aware. So let's talk about it. Anybody got any questions right now?
Nah, man, good class, man. Good class.
I have no questions. Then what's
Same
y'all
thing,
thoughts?
man, yo, that
What
was
y'all
amazing.
learn?
Build up a lot.
What y'all learn from this?
A lot of
Classification.
foundation for sure.
Record keeping. Yeah, she said it. There you go. That's the main catch right there. Be good at it. Get better at it.
Facts. You got great practice on it by what the method you've been doing though. So that's
Yeah,
good that you've been keeping up with it.
That gave me a heavy jump start, man. The what you helped me with that class. That's what structured me just enough to where when I seen the first replay off of this, I was like, I don't know nothing about taxes. I know this is gonna hit me eventually. And when I seen that you done set me up so right with what you helped me with that class and being able to structure the vending that way. Now, when I looked at that first class, like 50% came into me fast without me having to even have the book. Now I bought the book and I got it signed for it or whatever. She'll send it. I know she will. But when she does, I'm gonna be able to read it. I know I'm gonna grasp the whole thing out of it. Because of how you structured your last class with it. And that's why I feel like I understand and see how you teach it, because you teach it from the bottom level up. You'll teach it for any level to be able to grasp whatever it is that you're trying to teach at the moment of. And that's so important of catching everybody on whatever level you own. Everybody just come in and just keep coming in, and eventually you start to catch on to what it is he's saying. At first, I couldn't understand half of what you were saying, but eventually now it's to the point where I can actually grasp most of it, you know?
So let me ask you this. How hard was you to discipline yourself in that form of record keeping? What did you do to stay in line with that?
What I'm doing consistently is bringing every day. I bring all of the documents that I need to be able to present. If officers was to show up at me, right, I'll have a whole book full of every archive that I've already created, bank accounts, everything that they need that to be able to prove to him what it is that I'm about to prove to him.
Right.
But the key is how the day-to-day basis of having everybody sign, you know. And if you could do that, if you can manage to get everybody's signature, Everybody signed it. Everybody got to contribute because it's the bargain, right? So as long as we can continue to bargain together, then now we're actually doing something that's tax exempt. And that's what I understood. That's why I always kept the receipts. That's why I always kept everybody's signature. Everything, every month is lined up ever since I did it. I did about like, I think 6-7 months ago, 8 months ago, something like
it's
that.
been about that long.
About that time. And every month I'll do it just like how you teach it. Archive everybody's signature for that month, archive how much was made, archive in the ledger, all of the bank transactions that I've made, if I had to pay for something apart, if I had to, whatever the case might have been. And I'll do that on a monthly basis like you do, because I don't work very heavily. I work maybe 2-3 days, like Friday, Saturday, Sundays. I do those type of days. Right. And then if I do 4 weekends, 5 weekends, or whatever the case might be, I could just do the ledger for the end of the month. But if it was a lot of sales, I won't do that because I already know that end of the month is gonna be heavy on me. So I'll do I'll do like a 2-week, bust them down them 2 weeks, get it lined up so that way I only have to do the next 2 weeks.
But
summertime,
and you got to
I'm
so that's great.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I know it takes, and I know there was a difference. I think the class she was talking about is dang, what was that class?
It wasn't built. It wasn't Bill. It
People's
wasn't
private banking.
People's that one.
People's private banking.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I actually like that class.
That
was such a good class, man.
That was a dope class for real. I think a lot of people just didn't. Hey, well, whether you slept on it or not, it's still available. But I know that
it's a lot. It's a lot in that. It's a lot in that, man. I had to watch that several times.
It's a lot, like you say. It's a lot in that, and those classes has really definitely shown off. I can see them. You actually doing it. And I remember when you told us that you set everything up, you got people signing. I'm like, oh shit, they got somebody that's really, really out here doing it that way. So you know that's what's up. Just to see you take it and create that, and then you know you're see that they can't say you ain't because you got what you say about 8 months worth. You got 8 months worth of consistency.
Now you know that's why I got the ticket. That's why I got the suit with the officer, with the lieutenant. It was basically off of this. It was basically me doing what I was doing. They ain't really like it. So they waited until I got into my vehicle and moved and left to go home or whatever the case might be. And then they stopped me as I was traveling, going home, right? So then after that, I already knew I was being targeted. So I was like, nah, y'all not going to do this. So what I'm about to do is I'm going to really try to educate myself and then continue the process now with court. So and that's when I started learning more and more with the courts, learning more and more how to be able to sue the lieutenant that's going after me like this. But ever since that happened, they have not come back. Like
they not.
And they won't. You can tell that they won't, man. They come by and they'll do that little
how you doing, sir?
Yeah, like type of shit, you know what I mean? But that's it. That's what ends with them. Yeah, that's what it ends with them.
Yeah.
So it was powerful to have that feeling, to have that movement with you, to have the succession, because that succeeded for me. You see what I'm saying? That was my first like court wasn't even, it was this was like the main thing that I needed. Now I ain't have to move around no more, because I'm retro game on the move. I gotta be moving. I can't stay in one spot. I make it hot, and then next thing you know, cops are coming and lining me up. So I always had to be moving around. Now I'm solid in one set space. Everybody hits me up, looks for me there, and that's where I do my fundraising, or my bargaining, my contributions, and creating my church. You know what I mean? And that's how I'm moving. Later.
I appreciate you, bro, for sure. And thank you for sharing it. I always like to use you an example because I know when like you always excited to learn and you actually go apply. And you'll be like, man, I fucked up, but I'm here. I'm doing this. But it's like we got to see your growth. I know I have, and I know others in here have too. So definitely appreciate you, bro, for your participation.
I appreciate y'all, every one of y'all. Yeah.
What's up, Sasha? You had your hand up. I'm not ignoring you. What's up?
All good, brother Eric. No, I just had a general question. So as far as all the volumes are gonna be like a different ebook for each volume, is that correct?
You say what now?
Hello, can you hear me? Hello?
I can hear you. Go ahead.
Sorry, I got the headphones on. I was saying as far as for all the volumes with the tax classes, it's gonna be a separate ebook. for each of them?
Yeah, somebody just asked, am I gonna put the whole series out? And I haven't thought about that yet. I just, I guess I can't. If there's really people out here that on the do-it-yourself type, then yeah, I could do that. But I know a lot of people like, look, man, reading this shit by myself ain't it.
Right.
I need the class. I need you here with
Right.
me. So I get it, but
Right.
I'll make that decision
Okay.
tonight. And if we post it, we'll blast the email out about it for sure.
Okay. Okay. Sounds good. And I see you put out there the gold option. Is that gonna be um going into February, or does February
Yeah,
have
it's
their
going
own
into
gold
February.
option?
So from January, what you get now on through February, we'll do it like we did the last work session because we started at the end of the month last time. So
Okay.
it'll go on in. It'll carry on it. So if you're paying for the gold
Okay.
now, it
Perfect.
goes on in.
Sounds good. That's all I had on my end. Thank you. And this is awesome. I think I told you a couple times I haven't done my taxes in a couple years, so I'm taking the time this year to get it done. So this came just in time. So
Well,
thank you
I'm
so
glad you
much.
guys are liking it because I wasn't sure. I know a lot of people like want what they want, and I was like, well, I don't know if they're gonna really want this, but they're gonna have to take it. It is what it is. This is what I
Yeah,
got.
no, I would say this is divine
So,
timing for sure. I personally haven't filed since 2022, so I'm trying to get my affairs in order, and this just came at the perfect timing. Thank you so much.
all right. Well, I appreciate it, man. And don't forget, guys, we got bingo night Friday. Friday is bingo night. Okay. If you want to be able to get in with us, hit me up, DM me so you can come play bingo with us as well. And I'm also going to put the first tax class, that ebook right there we just went over. It is going to be a prize that you can win in the bingo class. So on February the 6th, that weekend, that Friday we do, I'm also going to put in the Lawman series. I'm going to put that in as a prize too. The whole entire series, the Lawman series you see right now. So yeah, that whole series is gonna be there. So if you want a chance to win that, it's $10 to get in. You get a free raffle ticket for a chance to win a free car this in June. And you also get a chance to win other cash prizes. But I'm letting you know, though, that whole series, $10, is going to be in, somebody's going to win that, right? But you ain't going to win it if you ain't there. All right? You ain't going to win it if you ain't there. I will say that, right? But bingo is fun. It's a lot of opportunity for people to, get to meet other people as well and just be around. We laugh. I am gonna go live and podcast it to everybody as well. So appreciate everybody that is participating in that. And go check out our website, ingodwetrustacademy.com, guys. John Lyon, what's up?
Yeah, fam. I got one question. Well, for lawful money, we just redeem it on our stuff, or we gotta do it like a specific tax form or something.
Nah, it's on everything. It's exactly what I said in that class.
All right. So I'm gonna hold it like that then. All right, bro. That's all. That's all I have, man. I'm just trying to see how I'm gonna go about it because I ain't got no 508, so I'm gonna have to, lawfully redeem everything on my especially with my business and stuff. That's the route I'm looking at. So
Right.
that's
Now I feel
yeah.
you. Absolutely.
All right.
Operate. Remember, everything is there in law, and all you gotta do is prove it and continue on. But if
All
you
right.
guys had we ain't had that many questions. I think this has been great because I think if we ain't had that many questions in here, that literally means that the ebook is doing what it's supposed to do. It's supposed to
I
make it
can I
easy for
can attest to
everybody to
that as
understand.
a complete. Yep, exactly what you said.
So I just want to make sure that it's doing exactly that. And the fact that, this is the second day, and I think it's been more people telling me what they learned than the actual question. And I also appreciate just everybody being, able to stay on topic and respective and stuff like that. We will have a day. I will do just an open Q&A day where we just talk about whatever as well, because I know you guys still got other things that you want to get at. So we will do a day for that and just to come in. Now, I will say this. When you see me live and just not in the podcast mode right here, then just, hey, come in and chat, ask your questions, stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? And there's certain things, guys, like I'm going to tell you. You be like, I'm gonna get a consultation. I'm gonna say, hell no, you don't. I don't want to talk to you for 2 minutes and you didn't spend all that money. It's stupid. Do not. All right. If I decline you, it's because of that reason, more than likely. All right. So all I want you guys to do is just to continue. What's up, Ra? My bad.
Is there something, well, thank you for everything you've been teaching us. Is there something easier than the Excel spreadsheet to put everything in? Because right now I'm trying to put all the fiat and everything into an Excel spreadsheet, but I hate doing it because I just hate doing it. But it's something,
I don't like I haven't used Excel since college, and I did not like
okay,
doing Excel either. It's probably if you're good at it, it's great to use because you can code it to do things, calculate everything for you already. Like, but it's been so long since I've done that. But me personally, like I'm an old school method, quick look categories, the information activity, write it in, and I'm done. You know, I'm not finna get too exclusive, like to where it's gotta look like whatever. You're gonna take the records that I got to give you. It's the best I can say. But I understand people's professionalism and stuff like that. And I'm glad you said what you said earlier, Ricardo, about signing and stuff. Like the wifey, man, she be like, "Hey, they ain't signed that damn what you call it? The assignment? What it's called? What the paper called?
A signature agreement.
Yeah, the signature agreement." So I be like, just going, no, they ain't signed it. I ain't sending it. Hey, but listen, but I'm glad she liked that. For real. Because there's been plenty of times where that damn signature has saved our ass from some bullshit people be trying to pull. For real. And you know what I'm saying? Like, so I'm glad you said that record keeping is one of the best things. That's one of the proof right there, man. But listen, guys, and I'm gonna say this to you. And this if you go out there and you pay for someone classes and they deliver everything to you and you was not happy or whatever the case may be, so to say. See, the thing is I've had a person literally say, "Oh, well, I wasn't happy with the class, how it turned out." And your ass wasn't even there, for one. But then turn around and you do what they call the chargeback shit. Yeah. Man, I was so heated. For real, man, I was heated. I was like, if I know somebody, I'll pay them $500 to go upside your head if I can find you. Cause that just make me so mad. Cause it's like you took the information, you got everything. So basically, that's stealing. You a thief to me. You know what I'm saying? You a thief. So that's why I say record keeping is a good thing. It's a real good thing. So once you got those signatures or all that type of stuff that you have, the records there and all of that, when it comes time for you to go do anything, you got all the proof that you need. You know what I'm saying? So I do want to say that, man, I appreciate you guys and your time. I keep seeing the number 333 everywhere. I don't know why, but we'll see what's coming. But I appreciate you guys and everything that y'all doing, y'all participation, and it's just been great for sure. I don't know if y'all can tell, I'm excited about this tax thing. For real, because I feel like, this is a place where everybody get to and struggle with. So let's just fully go at it. Like let's not run from it. Let's take our time, go through all the information, and keep going. And this right here is to place you on the level that you have a truly better understanding next time you go somewhere, right? So that's another thing. So I just really want to say that. I appreciate y'all for y'all time though, and peace, love, and law. I will see you guys in work sessions on Monday. All right? Work sessions Monday. No, hold on. No, you will not see me Monday. Hold on. I almost forgot about my damn self.
So I remember you say you got birthdays lined up.
Nah, you will see me Monday. Y'all see me Monday. Wednesday, though, you ain't seeing me Wednesday. Just want
Yeah,
y'all to
your
know that.
birthday's coming up.
Wednesday, you will not see me. I will not be here. All right? Just so we clear. I don't know where I'm going to be at. Wherever I'm going to be at, I'm going to be all right. But I ain't going to be on here. Last time I came on here, I came on here and we kicked it real hard for my B-Day, and I appreciate y'all. This time I got to do it without y'all. It's got to be a little censorship going on this time, so y'all cannot participate in the birthday affairs. just so y'all know, because it's not for TV. All right. But man, what's up, brother Terry?
I apologize. I need to get those two ebooks that you were saying for bingo. I need to get those. Can you say them again for me, please?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna send them to you. Absolutely.
Okay.
Oh, you want me to tell you what they was? My bad.
Yes, I need because I got to redo something.
Yeah, I understand. I forgot that you is the what's the name. So if you want me to, we'll just email it to you.
Okay, appreciate it.
Yeah, I'll just email it to you. Appreciate that.
All right.
All right, guys. Bingo. Bingo was his name. Make sure you there Friday for the bingo. All right. And you don't have to just do bingo to get the raffles. You still can get those as well, like you've been getting them. For those of you that are interested in it, do let us know. Yes, it still come with the ebooks that we've been had that goes with it. You get 2 raffle tickets. You get, what was it? Killing the Presumption of Death, either the Foreclosure or
Creditor Slayer.
Credit Slayer. One of those 3 of your choice that you may choose. If you already have one, then you can get the other 2. If you already got all 3, then appreciate you. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate you. So, is there a link for bingo? Yeah, but you gotta once you register and everything like that, you will be given a link to join bingo. You'll come into bingo. They'll put in the message how to get a card. You'll get the card, and we prepare for you to get beat because I'm gonna beat you. So that'll be the next thing. Yeah, you ain't winning. Do know that.
We'll see about that.
Yeah, you ain't
I'll
winning.
take your challenge.
And we prepared. We prepared now, Sasha. Just so you know, we ready for you. Come on back. Yeah. I ain't losing. I do know that. Now, last time my card was terrible. I lost 2, 3, all 3 of them. And the trivia questions, yeah, I couldn't answer one of them. So maybe y'all can win the trivia. You can win by trivia and you can win by bingo as well too, man. But let me get up here. I could talk all day, man. Appreciate y'all. Y'all have a